how did the family stay connected in Cleveland? So there was Madge, Beatrice, Mary Elizabeth, and Tom, and Jim. So 5 of the 7, because Catherine had died young, were in the Cleveland area and very connected, along with some. Were there others, or that was Bryn's side of the family that was also here? So
Well, there's the Ashtabula family.
So how did they stay all connected? What did they do that you know of?
Okay, let's see. You put me back on.
Oh, we're on. Rolling. We're rolling.
Margaret went to a graduate school to learn how to run what was called the contometer. Contometer, yeah. And which was a mechanical math machine.
Adding machine.
And she got a job with a Kroger company working in their accounting department. And her job was to check over all the receipts that came through to make sure that they were accurate. After a year or 2, then she moved on to another grocery chain called Fisher Foods. And she worked there in the office doing the same type of work. In 1935, then she met my father, Bryn Lewis, and they started a romance. By this time, Margaret was 35 years old. Bryn was about 41 or 42. So in 1938, they got married at a priest's house because my father was not Catholic, and their best man and maid of honor were Margaret's friends, Helen and Eddie Beskin, and they didn't have any other family members come because my father's family did not approve of him marrying a Catholic, and her family didn't approve of her marrying a non-Catholic. However, in 1938, in November, the first child was born, my brother Tom, and he started to bring the family together in the sense that the other families had no children. So they gathered kind of around and started to come and help my mother out. And so doing that. Then over the next 4 years, 7 years, she had 3 more children, myself, my brother Jim, and my sister Madonna. In 1948, my grandfather, Malachi Connaughton, decided to, because he was forced to by his son Edward in Ireland, who had been housing him for years, to have his daughters take the turn in taking care of their old father. So he came to America and lived with the 2 sisters and one of their husbands. Doesn't sound right, but
So they all lived together.
they lived together.
So who was married? Beatrice?
Beatrice married a widower by the name of George Wagner.
George Wagner, that's right.
And they were my godparents.
And they lived with Mary Elizabeth.
Mary Elizabeth.
Was she always called Mary Elizabeth?
No, she was called Aunt Mary by us, and her sisters called her Betty.
Betty, okay.
It's just, Elizabeth, Bet.
Yep. So they lived together with George Wagner. No children?
No children. Wagner had a daughter by a previous marriage. He was widowed.
Yeah.
And a neighbor that they, so they met.
So Malachi came to live with them.
Malachi came to Jim had married, had adopted a child, but the child died when she was 12 years old. So.
What did she die of? Do you remember?
No idea.
Yeah.
And so, I think pneumonia. But anyway, Malachi came and lived there for 2 weeks every summer that he was in America. He came and stayed with Margaret and her family. He was a difficult, grouchy, selfish old man who had been a widower for 56 years or so when he died. And after 2 years, he said after his son-in-law, George Wagner, had built an addition onto his house, he he just said, I'm going home to die. That was 1948, and he died in 1956.
Okay, he lasted a long time in Ireland. Did he go back and live with Ned?
No.
No. Ned said no, thank you.
There was some cousins of Bridget's who had like extra rooms.
Do you remember he didn't drink in Ireland and then he got off the boat when he got here?
He got drunk.
When he came to America?
Yeah,
Yeah, he came to America. Yeah.
stayed drunk.
And my father really liked him because they could drink together.
Yeah.
But he didn't like George Wagner. He called him the Hun.
Oh, jeez. How was Madge having him around?
Tense.
Yeah.
You know, he was a very bossy kind of guy. You know, always, he had his own way for 50 years. So the next, in 1953, Mary Elizabeth had a severe stroke and died. So at that time, and go previously back, Tom, who had been living with the sisters, had no place to go after Beatrice got married to George Wagner, and Mom got married to Bryn Lewis, and so he moved to Chicago, where he became a part-time short order cook and a bum. He had an alcohol problem. So in 1954 was the first opportunity my siblings and I had a chance to meet Uncle Tom. And he was a short guy, kind of a runt, and outspoken and loud. And usually when somebody comes and you haven't seen in 15 years, you're greeted with, "How are you?" But his brother-in-laws all kind of said, "How long you staying?"
Didn't he have a beautiful voice? He could sing? Oh,
Well, yeah, that's part of an old story. Yeah, that'd go back when he was living with the sisters. He went to his boss one day and said, "It's the Depression time. I know you're laying people off. Why don't you lay me off, because I have 3 sisters all working full time." And so, and I had this friend Jim Bolin, and his father who's been gone for a long time, but he knew him. And
He knew Tom?
Knew Tom. They hang out in the pubs. And he said he'd sit at the end of the bar and sings Irish songs. You know, just an entertaining kind of guy. So in 1954, Beatrice got colon cancer and she died. So that year.
So both of those women died fairly young.
Yeah, the early 60s.
60s. Yeah.
and no children. Which,
No children.
Yeah.
So Tom again came from Chicago to the funeral, and this time they wouldn't even let him stay for the reception. They just got him on a train back to Chicago. And then over the next 4 years, Tom lived in the hospital or a nursing home with tuberculosis. Mom went to visit him a couple of times during that period, and then he died. And when she was going to the funeral, she and Jim, my Uncle Jim, to bury him, I said, "How long will you be gone?" And she said, "I'll be gone for about a week." And I said, "Why will you be gone for a week?" She said, "Well, we have to wake him." And I said, "He was a bum. Nobody even knew him." She said, "Well, maybe we'll just wake him for one night." Then when she came back, I asked her how it went. She said it was interesting. She said, "A man came in and he looked familiar. I couldn't place him. I asked him how he knew the deceased. And he said, 'He's my brother.'"
And it was Uncle Peter.
This was Uncle Peter. A couple months later, or less than that, a month later, Edward came from Ireland to visit Tom before he died, but they didn't tell him he had died. So we had a reunion with the 4 siblings and some cousins from Ashtabula. So it's the only time these 4 people were ever together. It's the only time they talked to each other. It's the only time wasn't the only time that they didn't have anything in common, except geological,
Biological.
Biological. You're doing great.
Yeah.
Biological parents. Well, that's about it. I mean, that's
Yeah.
kind of how the story goes.
But your mother never met her brother until she was what age?
59.
59. Because Peter had gone when she was an infant. Yeah, up north to be with her,
The other family.
her father's family. Yeah. That's incredible.
Yeah, that's really incredible.